Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturn Slam review. The set's gone because I haven't made a set for the unified presence. So we got some foreground, background action trying to get everything in the frame here. Peter looks like he's about to give a cutaway interview for an episode of The Office.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm 2 sheets to the wind.
After what? One marg that was 80% sour mix and a shot of whiskey.
Yes, my stomach processes these things differently.
I am aware that not everyone can drink like me. Not everyone's this Irish.
And not everyone's this wrestling for wrestling.
Yeah, we've got wrestling to talk about. AEW and NXT as per usual. We normally would give you ratings information. However, due to the Thanksgiving holiday, we do not have the ratings information. Believe me, we scoured. There's no cable television ratings available for Wednesday night. We have access television, like regular network television. If you're curious on who won the ratings were that day, it was a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. So
who'da thunk?
Yeah. But we do have a little bit of information to fill in this point. Last time, or when we talked about Full Gear, rather, we were curious to know if we had the buy rate in, and we didn't. And we still don't have an official buy rate. I don't know if they release those anymore. Like, it's been so long since we've had to think about buy rates.
What's the metrics
we
use now?
But according to Mega Melts over at the Wrestling Observer newsletter,
good job.
AEW Full Gear is estimated to be about 100,000 pay-per-view buys, which is slightly below that, which I think is in line more or less with what they did before. Well, it's better than what they did before. They were doing 20,000 buys before.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So yeah, we figured it'd be something around 100,000, and turns out we were correct. So, hooray for us.
Big boy monies.
All in, for comparison, garnered about 50,000 buys, so about twice
their flagship pay-per-view.
Yeah, the big, launched. Double or Nothing did about 110,000 buys between cable and digital. So, yeah, it's in line with what they've had before. So TV didn't change things too much, but I think that's about what we predicted anyway. So pay-per-view. It's a tough sell at the price that they're asking for it.
$50, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's good, but is it that much better than a takeover show that you can get for $10? I don't think so.
Got to work hard to get that value there. Beat that value proposition.
It's rough. The economics of wrestling pay-per-views have forever been changed by the existence of New Japan World and the WWE Network. Let's talk shows in order we watch them, which is usually how we do things. We had NXT this week, live from Full Sail Arena, as is usually the case. And we led off with the celebration of War Games and Survivor Series. They played the theme song. Everyone came into the ring and was having a hunky-dory time. Everyone was partying. I spotted Dakota Reeves. And
it was the Uber party.
Out came the Undisputed Era, and they were welcomed as heroes. And Adam Cole is like, watch me turn this shit around.
The man who you literally can't boo, who has been the baby heel for a long time now, who beat Johnny Gargano's pop when he came in New York City, in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Managed to fucking pull real-ass boos out of this crowd. It was fantastic. When he comes, he's like, no partying.
No, none of you deserve this. We're the ones who deserve this. Tommaso Ciampa cut him off. Ciampa was flanked by Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, and Dominic Dijakovic. Ciampa cut a promo where he announced that Lee and Dijakovic will be challenging Fisher and O'Reilly for the tag titles. And then he said that he called the championship Goldie and said Daddy was coming over and there's no one standing in his way. Enter Finn Balor, who came out to simply say, I'm in your way. And that match was signed and made official for later tonight, or later on the night.
It's actually tonight,
yeah,
Friday on Thanksgiving. It's going to take place on SmackDown.
Undisputed Era wrestled. It started as Fish and O'Reilly, but when they went to commercial and returned, Bobby Fish was injured on a gorilla press throw from Keith Lee onto Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly didn't do a great job catching them, and it looked like he hurt his knee again. We have an update on the severity, or not much of an update, but this is what WWE's injury report had stated. NXT Tag Team Champion Bobby Fish is currently not medically cleared to compete and is listed as day-to-day on the injured list. Camp noted Fish landed awkwardly on his partner after being tossed out of the ring. So it looked worse than I guess it ended up being, if they're calling him day-to-day.
Yep.
I was a little worried because if he hurt that knee again, he's not a young man. He's 40 years old. And the second major knee injury to that knee could have been the end of his career.
What an inglorious end it would have been, too.
Which would be super sad. But it looks like he's probably going to be back in a couple of weeks or so, which is good news for everyone around. But Roderick Strong took his place in street clothes. Part of me, I know the injury wasn't planned, but they did, a suspiciously good job of putting this match together on the fly if there wasn't that switch planned.
This is not the first time where we've just been really questioning, is this a work? Is this a work that just happened?
Yeah.
I've had that a few moments on several shows recently. I guess it's a testament to their skill. Or something.
Yeah, I mean, you would have been hard pressed to convince me that they didn't have these spots laid out in advance, or at least some of them. But yeah, they I guess called it in the ring, and after some big impressive spots, all parties involved, Adam Cole came out to distract them, but Keith Lee fucking yeeted this man into the second row of the crowd. This was enough to distract Dominik Dijakovic for a unrealistic amount of time, and they hit their tag team finish on him and retained the titles. So no title change on this day. Mansoor, they dusted him off.
Comes out once in a while here.
Yeah, nice to see him wrestle, not in Saudi Arabia. He defeated Shane Thorne.
They dragged Shane Thorne out.
Yeah, they got him out of the closet.
His arc of he was doing a story of something.
Yeah, he was beating up all the newcomers. I guess maybe that was leading to a Jordan Miles feud, but we all know where that went. That's not going to be happening anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh God.
The dude had a point right up until he fucking went off the deep end.
Yes. Oh, that was a weird one. We'll be hearing about that on someone's book.
I'm sure. That was a weird one. But he had a slingshot neckbreaker. This match was short. It was pretty much just a showcase for Mansoor, who's very good. I'd like to see him now that the cruiserweights seem to be folding into NXT, I would like to see him wrestle a little more in that sphere.
That would be nice.
I think he could have some good matches with some of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Candice LeRae beat Dakota Kai via disqualification. Kai has new music and the same look she had at War Games. The hair is nice, but her mean mugging needs work.
Yeah, we I don't think we talked about this as much. Do we talk about War Games? Yeah. If not, we will also be talking about War Games.
Yeah, we'll talk about.
Either way, heel Kai is a strange beast that I don't entirely agree with her existence.
Yeah, she doesn't really seem natural in the role.
Mm-hmm. A different time, I'm of the opinion that a different time would have served her a lot better. This is a strange time to have it happen, especially because she's just back, and I was very excited to feel I know it's a little old, but I would have loved her to conclude that storyline with her and Shayna.
Yeah. But I guess they had other plans. I mean, I guess they are pretty light on the heel side with the women. And if Shayna is heading to Raw or SmackDown soon, which I suspect she may in fact be, I think if she drops the title to Rhea, that's probably it for her on NXT, because she's done everything she can conceivably do on NXT, and the act is getting a little bit long in the tooth. So I could see her being moved over to Raw to feud with Becky, and heading into the Rumble, and possibly Ronda makes a return or some shit, and that's the WrestleMania match. I don't know. That's
long down the line. It's
plenty of time to think about that.
As we know, WWE, there are way too many variables in between there.
Yes.
To give us any sort of predictive power.
Yeah. But this match was fine, I guess. Like, it didn't feel right. Dakota Kai doesn't seem comfortable working heel.
That's fair.
And as a result, like, technically it was sound, but the music between the notes wasn't there.
Yeah. Is this like a trend going on? Because I feel like this comes from the same energy that produced heel Bayley.
Well, heel Bayley, I think the time had come for that to happen. Like, I didn't know what a heel Bayley would look like or how that was going to work out. But Bayley needed a character change rather desperately. And she got it. And it was over for a little bit, but now people don't care super much. But she's the champion on SmackDown. So that's something. But the match ended when Kai whacked her with Tegan Nox's knee brace.
DQ.
And for the DQ finish, Rhea Ripley ran down to make the save. We had a vignette for Cameron Grimes.
Yes.
It was character building.
Yes.
Let's say. I gave him a reason to exist more so than he's had. So on that level, I guess we could call it a win.
I still love watching that. He's just in his ring gear, just walking along like the riverbank under the willow tree.
NXT champion, cruiserweight champion Lio Rush beat Akira Tozawa. This was a good match, including one fucking crazy German suplex off the ring apron to the floor. That was deadly when he played the dope melody. Rush executed 2 frog splashes before covering Tozawa for the pin. This was a very good match. Xia Li beat Vanessa Bourne, and this match was nothing really.
No, it was one of those. Here's a quick match so we can get in a promo for a totally different thing.
I sat down, I watched this match. I'm like, you know what? It's been a while since I've seen Vanessa Bourne work. Let's see how she's coming along here. And then she did like one thing, and then ate the pin, and then the Horsewoman came down, and they beat up Xia Li, and Shayna bragged about her accomplishments. Rhea Ripley ran out and, said, I'm going to beat you. Shayna said, I've heard this song and dance before. I'll beat you when the time comes. And then Rhea's like, why don't you do it now? And everyone's like, ooh, she called you chicken.
All right, here's a weird hot take. Here's my brainstorm spitball right here. Dakota Kai, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, 3-way or something.
I think more likely, I mean, they just turned her, so beating her this quickly would probably be
eventually
a bad idea. But I think
Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai though is the one
that's a few. That's a few that's going to happen for sure. But I think as far as it plays into the Rhea Ripley side of things, I think the likely happening there would be Rhea Ripley beats Dakota Kai on her way to Shayna Baszler, like in a number 1 contenders match or some shit like that.
That's fair, yeah.
And then we had the main event. It was Finn Balor versus Tommaso Ciampa, and this match was very good. It was much better than Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle on War Games.
Yeah.
Not that match was bad either, but this match was much better.
It's all relative, baby.
Yeah. So they wrestled. They hit a lot of stuff. Ciampa hit the air raid, crashed on the floor. Balor teased getting counted out, but he made it back into the ring. Hit a big Project Ciampa for a near fall. He hit the fairy tale ending, but that's when Adam Cole ran out, and was a worthwhile distraction because it allowed Finn to hit the 1916 and get the pin over Ciampa. Cole came to the ring. He hit Ciampa with a kick, and then Balor hit the 1916. And then Cole was in the ring with Balor, and they were acting chummy, and then Balor hit a Pele kick Pele kick on Cole to stand alone. And so we were just like talking about how like I feel like they're building to Finn being in the Undisputed Era, especially if Bobby's going to be out for a while. And then he hit the kick, and I'm like, well, never mind.
Yeah, I like Finn Balor as just the wild card here, the Maverick.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him in Undisputed Era because of his stature as a star. I think would take away from Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And
his stature as a wrestler.
Yeah,
he's not that tall.
He's maybe a little shorter than me.
Okay, yeah. So he would not stick out. It's not like Dijakovic.
Yeah, that'd be weird. But yeah, like I think the Undisputed Era has enough cachet in of themselves. They don't need a Finn Balor to be in their midst. That led to Dynamite of the AEW variety.
This was weird.
This was a really up and down show. Some hits, a lot of misses.
Yep, a lot of, I don't know, it felt like 90s for a little bit there.
Yeah, this was like one of those episodes of Nitro from the like 90, from the run they were on top, where they just kind of like phoned it in because they were on top. And you watched and you're like, there was some stuff on this show of value, but a lot of it was just not great.
Thanksgiving filler.
We had Chris Jericho's Thanksgiving celebration for Le Champion, where they announced the limited run of the official Little Bit of the Bubbly. They gave a website.
Bet we're buying that shit.
It exists. It is $46 for 2 bottles. And if it's your first order from that website, they do have a 20% off coupon. So money, not bad for the money. I don't know how good it tastes. They say they use the finest Nepalese grapes.
I don't know.
But I don't know that
Nepal is known for its grapes.
Nepal's grape was not a known like industry of mine. It's like when my girlfriend like chastised me for not knowing that Ecuador had a thriving leather trade. I was like, I don't know fuck shit about Ecuador's economy. All I know is that it's near the equator, and that's why it's called Ecuador.
Oh, I didn't even know that. You learn something every day here, folks.
So they had Soul Train Jones out there for the lulz, and they unboxed Jericho's father.
We honestly thought it was going to be one of those classic, like, here's a celebration, but then someone runs in and breaks it up.
But nope, they just kind of let it all fizzle out on its own. Or SCU actually ran in, dressed as members of the marching band.
Yes, that did happen.
And they got,
after getting the sports heat.
Yes, after getting Blackhawks heat, which worked on this crowd, and I was somewhat surprised about that. Best Friends beat the Lucha Bros inexplicably. This match wasn't really much of anything. They had the some Martinez guy, something Martinez from the All Elite Fleet announce crew.
So, sponsored by Allstate, I think.
I don't know what the All Elite Fleet is. And if this guy's a member of the regular announce team, they can't have existed for more than 5 minutes because this sounded like this dude's first rodeo, and he
Absolutely
couldn't have been less interested in what was happening.
Who was, because Tony was not on the show
Yes,
this week. It was just JR and
Excalibur.
or JW.
JW.
There's an inside joke where I couldn't remember JR's initials. Funny.
Really?
Funny.
Yeah. Taylor took out Pentagon with a dive, and Trent hit Phoenix with the crunchy, literally out of nowhere, for the upset victory. They didn't get a lot of time, and it was pretty basic. Then we had B. Priestley and Emi Sakura versus Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander, who is a new signee. I guess she was doing pretty well for herself on the independent scene and got herself an AEW contract.
Perfect.
And she was more captivating than many of the women on the roster have been.
She has a cool, unique move, which when I see, I'll be like, she did the thing when she rolls them around.
She did the Oklahoma roll, which you don't see too often. As little time as the Best Friends and Lucha Bros got, this match got that much more time than it needed. This went on a long time and was not very exciting.
Yeah, I don't know about these women's tag matches where they just sort of wild card them together.
Yeah. And, there's no alliance. In that they just stick Emi Sakura on a team and her gimmick doesn't fucking gel with anyone.
Nope.
And, I don't know, it just...
They don't build to any of these. They're like, why are they in a tag match together?
Their women's division is not grabbing me by the googlies.
Do you think it's management or do you think it's the talent?
A little bit of both. I don't think they have the best talent in the world, and they're not being put in the best position to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the first step would be the management. Just give them a little more promo time. Let them put together something that I know why they're going to be in a match.
Yeah. Cody defeated Matt Nix, who was a jobber if there ever was one. And then he called out MJF, and Blade and the Butcher came out. I had no idea who they were. JR had no idea who they were. The crowd certainly didn't know. They revealed that Allie was there with them.
As the bunny.
And that was strange, because last I checked, she was a babyface on the show.
They came out of a hole in the ring.
Yes.
This is very WCW.
Yes, this was certainly... I don't know who the Blade of the Butcher are. I haven't done any research since then. I don't particularly care. I'll leave it up to AEW to make me care.
Yeah, put them in a match and let them squash them, folks, and
Build
then
them up.
I'll care.
Kenny Omega got his win back against Pac. This match was fine. It was a little bit shorter than the match they had at All Out, and a little bit better for it, I think. There was no fucking parody of himself, Kenny Omega, in this match. He hit a reasonable number of V-triggers. Pac hit a beautiful avalanche Falcon Arrow at one point.
Yes, it was.
It was probably the best I've ever seen that move look.
You could take the images and put them on a diagram.
Yeah.
Teach other people just through those pictures what the perfect move looks like.
Omega got the win with a rolling crucifix pin. This was probably the best match on the show.
Yeah.
They announced Trent versus Rey Fenix for next week. We got a highlight package of the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royale, which made me want a match between Billy Gunn and Wardlow.
Please.
MJF defeated Hangman Page to win the Diamond Ring after Wardlow hit a punch, and MJF hit the world's ugliest crossroads.
Yes, as beautiful as Pac's
Avalanche Falcon Arrow.
Avalanche Falcon Arrow. Yeah, as beautiful as that was, this was that ugly.
Yeah, he just didn't get him around at all. DDP came out, and he did not hit anyone with a diamond cutter.
They are. It pains me to say AEW is now objectively wrong.
Yeah. Like, I don't care how you feel about AEW, but if you bring Diamond Dallas Page out as a babyface in a segment with heels involving a diamond ring, and he does not hit someone with a diamond cutter, then fucking what are you even doing this for?
Diamond cut yourselves.
Yeah, like, it's just fucking... It was... They had security come out and separate them, and no diamond cutters were distributed, and
They just
it
left. They just walked off. It was done.
And that's just not how you do it. That's just incorrect. Jen Decker interviewed Dustin Rhodes in the ring. He called out Jake Hager. He said he's out for Hager's blood. And then Guevara and Proud and Powerful hit the ring. The Young Bucks ran down to make the save. Matt Jackson back after being out for injury with very little fanfare. They hit Shattered Dreams on all three people out there, and crowd liked it, I guess. I don't think that we need to have the same sort of segment on every fucking show.
Yeah. And yet, here we are.
We got another Dark Order hype video. It wasn't quite as like goony as the one last week, where it was like a Church of Scientology commercial. I like that one a bit better. But this was the same fat guy. He went to the meeting, and I guess if they don't come out, next time they enter, they don't have a really fat creeper with them, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Points deducted.
And at one point we were watching this, and Peter's like, "Is that, dare I say, an unmasked Evil Uno?" I thought he was talking about the fat guy. Like, Peter, the man's physique is not that bad.
But no, I was talking about the man at the podium.
It was Evil Uno, but he was masked. Podium. Chris Jericho wrestled Scorpio Sky in a match to retain the AEW World Championship. SCU and Jake Hager got involved. This match was somewhat clean. I mean, there was interference, but it didn't directly lead to the finish. They wrestled a decent match. I thought this match would end up being better than it was, but it wasn't half bad either. The second Lion Tamer was enough to get the tap out from Scorpio Sky, and as he was celebrating, Jon Moxley's music hit, and he walked down, clearly establishing himself as the next in line to challenge for the title, which, depending upon when that match happens, I can see that title change occurring. I don't know when their next pay-per-view is, but if it's before Wrestle Kingdom, particularly, I could see them changing the title of Moxley. Why do I bring up Wrestle Kingdom, you ask? Well, that's because Chris Jericho is wrestling Tanahashi on night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom. It's a 2-night extravaganza this year. And they probably don't. There's, I guess, political bad blood between the two companies. And I wouldn't imagine AEW would be too fond of their world champion being pinned in the middle of the ring in the Tokyo Dome. Yep. And I don't think that Tanahashi is losing that match. So you got two choices. You either let him pin it and let him eat that pin, holding your belt, or you take the title off of him.
Or you do, as WWE has taught us, there's always the third option,
which is usually
the bad
worst.
option. How many times has WWE we said, like, you can't do this, and then you just do it, and you're like, oh, what do we do now?
And this is why we no longer watch main roster pay-per-views.
So yes, there's the option that AEW does the zero IQ move and just has Chris Jericho lose in Japan. I still don't see him winning because New Japan is more.
It's their booking. Like AEW has very little influence over this. Chris Jericho's contract allows him to work New Japan dates at his discretion. As long as I think AEW gets like first dibs on the date, so as long as they don't have a show scheduled, he can work Japan.
Guess fucking what, boys?
And Chris Jericho is like their biggest star, so they can't like try to big league him or New Japan in this situation. So they either have to just accept it. It's going to happen. They can't change the outcome of that match is what I'm getting at. So Tanahashi is most certainly winning that match. And the choice is whether or not he pins the AEW champion.
Or some guy.
Or the former AEW champion. So yeah,
or
that's...
Have Chris Jericho come out in a mask. He's masked Chris Jericho.
Super Liger again?
Yes.
Did I ever... We'll talk about this
Probably not
off camera. But yeah, so those were the shows. NXT definitely a better show again this week. I would be surprised if they lost in the ratings. I think the post pay-per-view bump is going to be there. A lot of intrigue coming out of that show. And AEW kind of had a bit of a lame duck show. They announced a good card, but the show itself was kind of slow-paced, and I could have seen myself, had I started watching AEW, being like, let's see what NXT is doing, and flipping over to NXT and not flipping back. So time will tell. Hopefully by the time we do it next week, we'll fucking know a little bit better what's up. But
for now, it's a mystery.
Like Evolution. Rest in peace, Lemmy. Until next time, be well, stay safe, and grapple like it's 1995.
Peace, fuckos.